One, two, 1, 2, 3, 4. Welcome to another episode of Reese's Reviews, the podcast for mygeekculture.com.au. And that person who's doing the sirens is Reece.
Is the co-host of the Mostest.
The Cashel, and myself, Matt, who is the producer and
producer, co-host, engineer behind the scenes, and also makes this show happen.
And also clock watcher.
I wonder how many comments we're going to get after a few episodes of this when they're going, "Can you stop with the clock?"
Yeah.
No.
Well, mate,
segment,
because after our previous episode of Reese's Reviews, and we spoke about it, and they said they're going to release the trailer any day now. What happens a few hours later after we record? Bam, they released the trailer for Spider-Man Brand New Day.
Yeah. And then, that was pretty damn cool.
Yep. So, and you've watched that trailer, haven't you?
A few times. Yeah. The fact that it broke all those records, like it's pretty much the most streamed trailer within the first 24 hours. I contributed to that. I think I watched it 3 or 4 times.
I reckon it's going to hit. It's probably going to be either shy of 2 billion or it's going to hit the 2 billion mark.
It's a guaranteed $1 billion film.
Yeah,
guaranteed billion, and then we'll just see if it, because the Spider-Man No Way Home almost reached 2 billion, which is just shy of it, but
now because of all the hype where No Way Home, and this is the lead into Avengers Doomsday, so yeah. So
but
I think
Marvel's on a roll. Like, just thinking about that, like where this is the first time in a good number of years where we actually have like a great momentum of Marvel. Like, disregarding last year's Captain America: Brave New World, going from that, then we've got Thunderbolts, which was good, Fantastic Four, which was good. We had Wonder Man this year, that was good. What else did we have recently? Like, we've had a kind of stream of kind of good content from Marvel.
Wonder Man got renewed for. Oh, sorry, we're gonna. We should really bring that in.
That wasn't part of my honorable mentions. Do not worry. But yes, Wonder Man got. I was so surprised with Wonder Man. Like, the fact that you took a show within the MCU that wasn't really. It doesn't really focus on the superhero. It's more like a character study. It was such a breath of fresh air for MCU. It was such a great show. I enjoyed it.
And also, at the time of the recording of this episode, that Daredevil Season 2 dropped. So
yes, and as recording of this podcast, I literally just finished watching the premiere episode, and I can say to our audience, if you like Season 1, you would like Season 2. It hits the ground running, and that new black suit looks awesome.
Well, I haven't seen any of it yet. So
let's just spoil the living crap out of Daredevil Born Again.
Yeah, well, no. By all means, do it. So we all know that it'll eventually come together and so forth. So let's get all the gossip and news out of the way.
Your Majesty.
Yes, Reese's Entertainment Honourable Mentions. Not really gossip, but just trying to report the facts from other places that claim that they've got facts as well. Yeah. So here we go, Reece. Bring it.
So I've got we were talking about last episode all things sci-fi, and to keep into that realm, I want to.
Sorry to hear too about.
So I am going to mention that. Yes, I am going to mention, but that's not what the main topic was.
Yep.
I found it ironic that after our last episode, when we had our awesome guest Stuart on the podcast, that we got the news yesterday that Starfleet Academy has been cancelled.
Or Star Trek 90210.
Yeah, pretty much. And the fact that even though they've filmed Season 2 already, because they already got 2 seasons already filmed, they've already cancelled it. The fact that it's been cancelled already, I went, well, my opinion seemed to be the common denominator. It wasn't that good. It didn't do as very well. So looks like, Stuart, you are in the minority, and I'm in the majority with people not really enjoying the show as much. So after we get Season 2, it is completely gone, and I just hope they don't leave it on a cliffhanger, but we'll have to wait and see next year. But the main thing I wanted to talk about to keep in the sci-fi era for what we talked about last week, was Project Hail Mary.
Ah, yes.
So I cannot rave about this film more. Like, I'm seriously considering going to see that movie again. I had that much a fantastic experience for it, and I can't fathom to myself how much I fell in love with a rock puppet, but I want a Rocky. Like that character
Give
has
it
hooked
time.
it.
They'll release it as a toy.
Oh yeah, absolutely will, absolutely will. And I just way that movie made me feel about just loving the movie going experience, just watching a movie like that that just has so much escapism and bringing everything together and just such a great experience. And I'm bringing this up from Variety, where it's a Project Hail Mary shatters box office expectations with 140.9 million globally. So this is from Variety. So out and we lift off Project Hail Mary, a space tech epic starring Ryan Gosling as a science teacher who is tasked with saving the planet, rocket to 140.9 million at the global box office. Those ticket sales include 60.4 million from 82 international markets, as well as 80.5 million in North America. It's the largest debut of the year, ahead of Screen 7 with 33.1 million overseas and 97.2 million worldwide, as well as the biggest start ever for Amazon MGM, above 2023's Creed 3, with 41.8 million overseas and 100.4 million worldwide. So I just wanted to take a bit of time to just relish on that the fact that this is a film that I didn't think it was in my most anticipated film of the year, but I didn't know how many other people would actually gravitate towards this, and I didn't know the fact that not many people who didn't know the book would be interested in it. But I think this is where I think positive word of mouth matters. They had those advanced fan screenings, and then they have the other showings of fans, early screenings that I was able to go to, and all it took is a week, even less than a week of positive reinforcement how amazing this film is, and this is the result you get of amazing global opening box office.
So, dare I say, the cliche phrase is cinema back?
Well, this is the first. I think all the box office, all these films this year. I think this is going to be the first year that we're going to have a groundbreaking of not groundbreaking, but it's going to be a year where the box office is pretty much officially back now since post the pandemic. So you've got last year was a good year, but now everything is behind us when it comes to the strikes and COVID and the theaters trying to get back on the feet. This is a full year, and I think this showing the opening box office Screen 7, the opening box office now globally for Project Hail Mary. And we've got so many more box office films on the horizon.
Yep.
That's coming this year. This year is going to be huge for the theaters and for the movie going industry. And I say, yeah, the movie is on its, I won't say it's back yet, but it's definitely by the end of this year, I think we're going to be back. So I just wanted to take a bit of time just to relish on this. I could not think this could have happened for a better film. It does have repeat viewing. You could experience it and still feel the emotions. It does hit you. It is. I would think a lot of it is a four quadrant film. It is definitely available for a multi of an audience. You can.
Well, I've been told as well that it's for this movie. It's probably the best experience to see it in the Screen X.
Yeah, I can understand that because that's the thing. When you have a sci-fi epic like this, when you're in space and there's certain shots, a Screen X kind of environment would be definitely very immersive.
And Screen X is actually 3 screens. So you got your main one in the middle, and then you got your two, one on each side.
Yeah,
but
peripheral vision.
Yeah, so it's a really immersive experience.
Yeah, and I think if you're able to go to a great IMAX screen where you can actually have the ratios change within what the directors were able to do. Like I wasn't able to see that when I saw it in the advanced screening. But if you're able to get to a screen where it actually is an IMAX screen or a good theater where it actually have the ratios change is what the directors does for opening it up the screen for certain shots. I think that's it will be amazing immersive experience. But counting next to that would definitely be Scream X. Absolutely. So I can't talk about this film highly enough. Like I said, it is from the film is based off a book from the same author who did The Martian. I personally think I give The Martian a tiny bit of a leg up a tiny bit, but I still love this film and I could see myself seeing it again. What is your thoughts about these shattering of the box office, and when I'm not gonna say it, but when are you going to go out and see this?
I don't know because, as you know, outside of my uh, outside of this podcast, my private life is pretty much unpredictable. So it's trying to find the time, and so it's not like I'm just too lazy to see it. No, I do want to see it, but life gets in my way sometimes, which I want to see this movie, Project Hail Mary.
Yeah.
After social media has kind of ruined it for me to see it in the immersive screen X, I'm like, okay, I kind of want to experience it in that. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear that it's rated well. Like it's breaking, well, it's just going bunter in the ticket sales. That's fantastic. So,
Yeah.
because I think the last Ryan Gosling movie I did watch was The Fall
Barbie?
Guy.
Ball Guy. Oh,
Yeah.
see that underrated movie. That movie bombed at the box office. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought it was a great. A lot of people.
I haven't seen Barbie. So.
Well, that's fine. But yeah, I went and saw it Fall Guy twice. I thoroughly enjoyed it the first time. Then I saw it again with my wife and some friends. All three of my wife and the two friends I saw it with, all three of them hated it. They thought it was horrible, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. And I
It
thought
was
gave a
trying
good-
to work out whether it was a romance or an action.
No, not much that, but it definitely it shone the light on the stunt
Yeah.
side of a production and gave a lot of credit to them, which is what they definitely deserve. They are underappreciated and sometimes not, overlooked a lot of the times, and they do so much for a production, which a lot of people who don't really know what goes into a production wouldn't know exactly how much is done by the stunt team.
Yeah.
And so that movie is a love letter to them. But I love the news that Project Hail Mary has exceeded expectations and it's still doing very well. It didn't drop too much and it's on its. I'm hoping to see it didn't do too badly on its second week. And the drop off isn't too bad. But I just thought that was fantastic news to share. So
Cool.
that's one of the topics. Going into next one, I this is the one that I have a fandom for since I was a kid, and this only as recording this podcast, this is the news that literally only dropped not too recently, maybe in the last maybe about 12 hours. So it's fairly fresh. So we all know that coming up next year in 2027, we have a new Lord of the Rings film called The Hunt for Gollum. It has been filmed. It has been written and produced by Peter Jackson and Philippa, who gave us the original trilogy, but it's been directed by second unit director of Lord of the Rings and Venom, Let There Be Carnage, Andy Serkis.
Yeah, I did see the YouTube video pop up a couple of hours ago on the Warner Brothers account where
Yes, so
Peter
this
Jackson
is-
was doing a piece to the camera in
Yes.
vertical form.
Yep.
Saying, oh, this is what we're doing and so forth.
Yes, so I have this is going to be great because I can do a kind of two kind of stories in the one because we actually mentioned it is in the one thing. So the first thing is with Hunt for Gollum. This is where it's never a bad thing to hire great talent for a project, and the fact that you've got someone as amazing as Kate Winslet has been cast in an unknown role for The Hunt for Gollum is phenomenal. She has the choice of anything that she wants, and she has read the script for this and she loved it, and now she's moving her family down to New Zealand to film The Hunt for Gollum. And I don't know what role she is playing, but now it's like that meme you see of Leonardo DiCaprio when he's in Django. He goes, "You have my curiosity, now you have my attention." It's like I am so I was intrigued about this movie, but now I'm now that you've hired Kate Winslet and you've got, of course, Ian McKellen come back as Gandalf and the what they say suspected casting or return of Elijah Wood as Frodo. Like, yeah, we know he's coming back. It's been going to be dropped a few times, but we all know he's coming back. So that was a great news to hear, that the fact that we're getting some amazing talent. I've been in love with Kate Winslet since I first saw her in Titanic, and I just love her and everything. So it's great. But what we're talking about is what we wanted to talk about, which has just been released, and this is being reported as from the Hollywood Reporter, is that Stephen Colbert is co-writing a new Lord of the Rings movie. The film will come after the Lord of the Rings Hunt for Gollum, which is currently in development from director Andy Serkis. So, Stephen Colbert has found his post-Last Show job. The comedian has been tapped to pen a new Lord of the Rings movie alongside Philippa Bowens and Peter McGee, which will be the second of two upcoming films in the blockbuster franchise. Colbert joined Peter Jackson to announce the news on social media Tuesday night. And this is a quote that was in the video. The thing I found myself reading over and over were the 6 chapters early on in the Fellowship of the Ring that y'all never developed into the first movie back in the day, Colbert said in the video. It's basically chapters 3 as a company through to Fog on the Burrow Downs. And I thought, oh, wait, maybe that could be its own story and that could fit into the larger story. Could we make something that was completely faithful to the books while also being completely faithful to the movies that you guys had already made? Now, he started talking, and then the video kind of went on with Colbert saying that he talked over with his son Peter. He's also a screenwriter, and he worked it out, and they were able to bring to fruition. They took that story and brought it to Peter, and pretty much Peter liked it, and then pretty much they developed the story. They pitched it to New Line and Warner Brothers, and they loved it, and they said, go ahead, go for it. So we've got not just one prequel Lord of the Rings movie coming out, now we have 2. And if anyone's been in the zeitgeist of entertainment for anywhere, if you live under a rock when it comes to late notes, we all know when it comes to Stephen Colbert how much of a fanatic and loyal fan of Lord of the Rings he is. You get him talking about that topic and he would turn into the inner nerd that we all are underneath, and he would put you under the table. It is so fantastic watching him on his show talk about Lord of the Rings, and it's sometimes hilarious. If you want to see a great clip, watch him talking to what are their names? Oh, this is so bad for me. Oh, Dominic Monaghan and Billy Boyd, who played Merry and Pippin.
You're lucky. I nearly had to hang up on you.
I know. There's a clip of on the show and they quiz him, and it's so funny. And every time he gets a star on the show that was in Lord of the Rings, whether it be Viggo Mortensen, Sean Astin, Liv Tyler, he geeks out on Lord of the Rings, which is fantastic. So you got a fanatic fan like this, along with his son, who's a screenwriter, writing the script. Now it's also being developed by Philippa and Peter. It is being developed by New Line and Warner Brothers. Let's just hope it still continues with the acquisition of Paramount Skydance. So I love this news. I thought it was great. I have not read the books, so what chapters he's talking about that were missed in the Fellowship, I wouldn't know what that involves, but I'm also intrigued to see where it goes. I love the universe of that Tolkien has created. I love what Peter Jackson provided with me, Lord of the Rings. I do have my opinions about The Hobbit. Well, take that offline, but when it comes to films, Lord of the Rings is in my top 5. And just like I do with Star Wars, when I say my favorite movie is Star Wars, I classify Star Wars as New Hope, Empire, and Return of the Jedi. When I say that I think Lord of the Rings is in my top 5, I classify that as Fellowship, Two Towers, Return of the King. If I had a choice between the 3 films, I think I love Return of the King out of the 3 of them, but I classify it as one engulfed story, and I loved it. So the fact that we're delving back into this world, the fact that we're getting the first one is The Hunt for Gollum, which I'm very intrigued about to see some marketing for that. We should get that towards the end of this year. And now we've got this new film. Also, the fact that we've got Stephen Colbert. He's got a job post him being pretty much fired from The Late Show, which is amazing to see. And then just to see what he can do with being able to go into the film industry a bit more of that. So I thought this was great news on both of the fronts of Kate Winslet's casting for Hunt for Gollum, and now the fact that we're getting another prequel film within this world. A lot of the times I understand that they can try and build some of the story. I like things to kind of move forward, but if you have a great story to tell and the audience is there, go for your life. Now, what is your exposure with Lord of the Rings? Are you much a big fan as I am? And if so, if you are, what's your opinion about the original trilogy? And what do you think about both of these kind of news?
I know that you're a hardcore fan because I kind of kick-started your your early hobby of collecting the figurines. Lord of the Rings. Do you
Yeah.
still have those?
No, I sold them.
Yeah, fair enough. Uh, no, I do appreciate the Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit trilogies, but I'm not across the TV series because it's a bit too much for me. So
The TV series, I understand. The Rings of Power, the first season was not that great, but the good thing about it is that they took all the things that were bad in the first season and they made it better for the second season. So I understand that you didn't really delve into Rings of Power, but when it comes to the theatrical films, do you have a different interpretation of that?
no, I do love the films. So I did see, except one, I did see all of them at the cinema. So I didn't see the
Okay.
first one at the cinema because that was a
Okay.
different time in my life when that first came out. And yeah, so with those ones, I did see them all and I enjoyed them. And every time they're on TV or whatever, like if I need time to kill, say if it's a day where I just need something to really kill the day, then I'll watch them in, back to back.
Well, the good thing about especially the extended version of Lord of the Rings,
Put it this way:
this
during COVID time, I watched all six of them back to back over a weekend.
Well, I feel sorry for you for projecting yourself to Destination of Smaug and Battle of the Five
I
Armies because
enjoyed them.
when it comes to the Hobbit, if I do a rewatch, I usually do the Hobbit Unexpected Journey and then go straight to the Fellowship of the Ring.
See, the thing is with the Hobbit, they didn't need to stretch it out to three films.
That wasn't the thing is, and if you, I do apologize if you already noticed to the audience, but The Hobbit was supposed to be directed by Guillermo del Toro, and then when things got postponed and everything, he had conflict with his schedule, and he couldn't end up doing it. And then begrudgingly, Peter didn't want to go back into that world, but he's kind of forced into it. And he was only supposed to make those films out of two, and then he kind of got forced to make another trilogy because they wanted to replicate what they did with Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
So the fact that they were able to make three individual films back in the early 2000s, one for each book, which is twice the size of what The Hobbit is, and then they make a Hobbit film, which is so small, into three films. They stretched that thing out. If they wanted to, they could probably make it into two. They didn't need to make it into three.
No. And I did read The Hobbit as a graphic novel in primary school. So it was, so I was across all that. And then when they decided to make the movie, I just got, oh yeah, maybe two movies, but a third one, it was really stretching it. They did it to milk it.
And I walked out of those films, especially the 2 and 3, like these. I didn't feel like I was in the same. Like I didn't feel like the same magic that I had with Lord of the Rings. They severely overused the CGI and the sound stages and things like that. Like it was solely overutilized. I did not.
But Benedict Cumberbatch as
Smaug.
Yeah,
Smaug,
he was just absolutely sensational.
The casting is great. I had no issues with the casting for the film whatsoever.
Basically, it was just Watson versus Holmes.
There were so many technical things that weren't necessary or overdone, and I could complain about those.
Yeah, Peter Jackson had his arm twisted because Warner Brothers
and
like,
he had
no,
health
you're
issues as well, and so it's unfortunate. But but now he's had some time in the past, and also to
reflect, and then the technology's improved further.
The passing of his director of photography and friend and things like that. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what has evolved from this story and the films as well, to see what we can get from it and just delve back into Tolkien's world of Middle Earth.
Would you consider it your precious?
It is my precious.
I can't do it.
Little hobbitses. So What's it doing? Stupid fat hobbit. He ruins it.
You're listening to Reese's Review.
No, I can't do it. You can do it.
You must listen to Reese's Review. Please.
Please, do for Smeagol.
Well done. Well done.
Thank you. But yeah, I'm looking forward to going back into the world of Middle Earth and just jumping back into it and just seeing what Andy Serkis can give us. Like he has proven he can direct a great film, and he's a great director in his own right, to see what his future holds and take it on from there. Yep. So yeah, that's the one. So Before we wrap up this awesome segment, I wanted to jump on one last thing, and this kind of involves a little countdown you did at the beginning, and
Oh,
involves Doomsday in a way, in a sense. Now, this got
sorry.
published
We
yesterday.
have to sit there and listen to this. Write it out.
So
It's worth it. Hold on.
This was-
Hold on. There. Okay, now
this
you're
was
clear.
published
How dare you cut off
yesterday.
Doom? How dare you cut off Doom?
This was published as of yesterday in the Hollywood Reporter that we would all be remiss about when it comes to the December, everyone's thinking about Dune Part 3 and Avengers Doomsday. But there's another big tentpole film coming out around that time that not many people know about, which is a threequel trilogy end off of a certain film with Dwayne Johnson and Kevin Hart called Jumanji 3, or in the timeline, Jumanji 4. And as reporting in the Hollywood Reporter...
Or J4. Or
yeah, J4.
Jum 4. Because,
Yeah.
like Fast F4.
Yeah, good. So Jumanji 3 pushes release to Christmas holiday corridor. So Jumanji 3 is tweaking its year-end holiday release plans. The latest installment in the renovated I can't remember. I can't pronounce that. Sony Pictures franchise will now open in cinemas on Christmas Day of this year. It was originally set to open on December 11th. Pretty much saying that Dwayne, Kevin, Jack, and Karen are all returning alongside filmmaker Jack Cateson. Pretty much saying all the cast members that are returning. Okay, so pretty much go down to big point here. Kind of talks a bit about the franchise and things like that. Okay, here we go. So, insiders at Columbia say the studio determined that December 25 is a better date, even if the Christmas weekend itself will be impacted by holiday celebrations. The week between Christmas and New Year's is one of the most lucrative weeks of the year, allowing multiple movies to prosper, and holiday films that succeed can play well into January. Tuesday's Jumanji announcement comes amid heightened speculation as to whether Disney and Marvel's Avengers Doomsday and Warner Brothers and Legendary's Dune Part 3 will both stick to their December 18 release dates.
Yeah, Doomsday, yeah.
Doomsday, yes. Even though June has exclusive 3-week run in IMAX screen, which we previously announced on this podcast, some top studio executives and distribution chiefs believe June may move so as not to risk being overpowered by Avengers on opening weekend. Many believe Doomsday will be the juggernaut. Others counter that the holidays are a marathon, not a sprint, being that there is room for both. But now that Jumanji has moved, the December 11th to 13th weekend is freed up. Now, why I wanted to bring that up is for a couple of reasons. Some people can understand that they think that the pros and cons for the move on both sides. From what I thought about today and what I've been reading online, I kind of agree. I don't think this is a bad move. When it comes to the holiday period, especially Christmas Day and New Year's, that is the most busiest time to go to the movies. People are off, kids are off at school, and they go to the movies quite a lot. And when you release certain films around that time, there is a lot of business to be had. Now, why I think that's good is because when you think about the film that are coming out, like I said, you've got Dune and Avengers coming out the week prior to Christmas. And contrary to popular belief, those two films are not family-friendly films. Dune is a very much a high massacre, sci-fi, epic, very complicated to understand and that kind of stuff. Not a full quadrant for all audiences kind of film. Avengers is also the same thing. It's a big sci-fi fantasy film, yes. But if anyone knows the story of what Doomsday is going to be and the creation of Battleworld, which leads into Secret Wars, there's going to be a lot of battles, a lot of war, and probably a lot of death. So not big when it comes to the family audience, which is where Jumanji comes in. All three of the Dwayne Johnson films with Kevin Hart, Karen Gillan, and Jack Black have all been targeted towards that demographic where they are fun, they're entertaining, they're funny, and they are for an entire family. You can bring your families to. So even though you've got these three, you've got you'll have them Jumanji opening up a week after Avengers and June. I think there is so much business to be had for Jumanji, because you also got like, yes, you're gonna have so many repeat viewings when it comes to Dune and Avengers with it being coming out before Christmas. But like I said, there is so much more business to be had, and you can have these big tentpole films coming out, and it's going to, because everyone wants to go to the movies. They're all going to be have business to be had. And yes, a lot of other screens are going to be taken up by Dune and Part 3, but there's just going to be enough to share around when it comes to Jumanji. So I think there's more pros than there is cons. The fact that when it comes to the move, like I said, it will go into January as well. There is some talk that saying that it could possibly be pushed back to North America's Thanksgiving weekend, possibly, which I think is the first week of November, from memory. I think it is. Is that when Thanksgiving is? When is Thanksgiving? It's end of November. So, and that's a long weekend for North America. So there is some speculation they could have pushed it there, but at the same time, I think they want to take the benefits of that Christmas period and having all that time off with it. And the fact that, like I said, the demographic for Jumanji is definitely a little bit different to the demographic you have for Avengers and Dune. So I think there's definitely a lot of business to be had for either one of them. So I don't think it's a bad move, but I thought it was a bit surprising that they did it. But at the same time, the con I find, if they left it at December 11, they would have a great opening weekend. But as soon as next week happened, gone. They would have nothing because of Avengers and Dune. The fact that you're opening it up a week after them, everyone will be flooding out to see Avengers and Dune in that first week, and then all you'd have competing against Jumanji. Yes, there's going to be just as many people going out and seeing Dune and Avengers because of the repeat viewing, how amazing we think it's going to be. But you're going to have more chances of success with Jumanji with the second weekend, in my opinion, rather than having it the week before. And that's what I think. So now I throw to you, Matt Man. When it comes to Jumanji, firstly, do you like the Jumanji films with Dwayne
definitely.
Johnson?
I love Jumanji. Like I'm a fan of the original with Robin Williams.
Who doesn't love the original with Robin Williams?
I loved it, and it's a firm favorite because that movie also introduced me to Kirsten Dunst. So she was just really cool, and that was my age. Like when that movie came out, it was aimed directly at me. I was in my early teens. So not just that, and I still remember some scenes quite vividly as well. I did. Yeah, well, I still haven't seen.
Little Rain never killed anybody. Yeah, but a light can kill you.
Yeah, but I love the fact in the original Jumanji, the hunter was Alan's dad.
Dad, yeah.
Yeah, so that was pretty cool. And I didn't notice that until years later. I'm going, oh, hold on a second. That's meant to be the Alan's vision anyway.
Interpretation of his father. Yeah,
exactly. Very clever. Yeah. You just didn't get that as a kid. No. But I hadn't seen the first movie of Jumanji when it came back.
Dwayne Johnson one, yeah.
But I saw the second one in the cinema during the 4DX, like when that was first launched. So
did you watch the first one before going to see the second one?
No. So I went straight into it.
You had no context of what happened prior.
Correct, wow, okay. Yeah. But I figured it out. I still enjoyed it, loved it.
They're easy to follow.
Oh, exactly. So I just thought, well, I understand the first movie, so the concept would be just a continuation of that. And I still understood it, and I still got a good laugh, and I still enjoyed the seat moving around. They're easy to follow,
they're fun, they're entertaining, and they're just switch your brain off, fun popcorn flick.
Yeah, they did it pretty well. And then, when the end came to it, I went, they've opened it up for another installment if need be. So it's been a while.
Would you be there? Would you be going back to see Jumanji 3? Or
no, I think I'll wait for it to come out available.
Oh, really?
I'd watch it at home.
But, okay, this is where I think it's a good thing to say. And I do believe that this, when it comes to certain, a pundit that I talk about, when it comes to marketing and trailers, what is the sole purpose of a trailer?
To get your bum in the seat at the cinema.
Yes, but also it's to take your anticipation for a film or thought process for a film and bring it up, and hopefully, yes, like you said, put your bum into a seat. So that's what you think, okay, I could take it or leave it, this kind of film. Then you see the trailer and going, huh, that actually doesn't look that bad. Anticipation goes up. And then you can see the next trailer and then hope it goes up. And then eventually you get to a point and he goes, that actually looks like a fun time at the movies. I might go see it. And then that's the job done for a trailer. So do you think that once the marketing starts rolling up, maybe in the next few months for Jumanji 3, if they provide us with a good trailer, could this change your mind to put your bum into a seat and go see it at the cinema?
No.
Wow.
Yeah.
You're not gonna have an open mind.
No, because I do enjoy. Like again, I still haven't seen the first reboot, but I'm not enthused. This is just me, okay? I'm just not enthused to see it as a cinema. What I would want to see at the cinema, my ass is already ready for Avengers Doomsday. So, and I won't see the 3rd June because I haven't seen the first 2 yet.
Dude,
but,
you've got, what, like 7-8 months to do it?
Hold on. What I've got...
Show me the original.
Yeah, I've got the original.
Show me the original.
Yeah,
okay.
I got it on Blu-ray.
We said on this podcast not too long ago that you and I would do Doomsday. So, recording this podcast, we are almost to the end.
We're doing Doomsday, okay? So, I've got a couple of months to watch 1 and 2.
Yes, you do. Like, you'd have no excuse. If I get to November and you say, I haven't seen them yet, I ain't seriously going to...
You got to watch this one as well, the 1984 David Lynch with Kyle MacLachlan. And
why do I have to?
Sean Young and Sting.
Why do I have to?
Because it's June. It's David Lynch. And it's got music by Toto as well.
Toto.
You know, I bless the rain. And Rosanna, and hold a line. Doon. Love isn't always on time.
Yeah. So... I have put it to him, ladies and gentlemen. He has until the end of November to watch part 1 and part 2. Oh no, it's going to be such a big hassle to him to watch 2 movies by the end of November.
Oh, excuse me, I'm too busy editing other shows, aren't I? It's a good challenge. So I do want to see June 1 and June 2. So
yeah,
I do want to watch those.
I'll be definitely doing rewatches for them prior to June coming out. And if anybody's following my Letterboxd at the moment, they can definitely tell that on my journey through the MCU it's definitely in full swing. I have officially finished the Infinity War saga, and I'm officially started the multiverse saga. As of recording this podcast, I've just finished watching Loki. So now the fact I've finished WandaVision, I've finished Falcon and Winter Soldier, and now Loki season 1. So I'm in full swing of the multiverse saga. I'm unsure if I should go back and actually watch all the X-Men movies and things like that to also prepare, but
just do it if you've got time.
I'm going to get through the MCU first, but backtracking back to this, what is your opinion about the pushing of the release dates?
Oh, I'd say it's just all marketing. They will succeed no matter what, but it won't be as big as a hit as they possibly want it to be. Because it is, every year, it's always tight. It's tighter than a fish's butt, and it is, that's watertight.
What?
Haven't you heard that? Tighter than a fish's ass, a fish's butt.
Wow, that's a new one for me. I've never heard that before.
Oh, okay. Well, that's just watertight, like the facts, because they're...
Is that the whole thing? Everyone doesn't understand where we Aussies get our slang from. We're not here to F spiders.
Yeah, that's another one. But at least tighter than the fish's ass is a bit more cleaner than not here to F spiders. Yeah, but in general, there's always one that's going to lose out. So
I don't think Jumanji 3 would lose out too much. I
think it'll still be a hit, but it won't be the big hit that it wants to be, because I think they've left it too long. So,
well, I'm just going to look it up here.
Because for Jumanji 3, right, the audience for it are part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe audience.
But that's what I was getting.
But the thing is that Jumanji 3 would be the closest family-oriented one, because don't forget, around the Christmas time period too, they need a G-rated movie. Because
that's what I was getting at before. It's like you're saying that the demographic is the same for Avengers and it's Jumanji. But I would say that there is a little bit of an overlap, yes, but not fully because of the nature of what the story is for Avengers and Dune. Jumanji is going to be appealing to a lot more wider range of audiences than what Avengers
Well,
and Dune will.
it'll be the movie of Jumanji will appeal to audiences who hate the MCU or
Like my wife.
spot on.
I love you, darling, but yeah, she is a guinea pig when it comes to this sort of stuff. Like she did,
She's
when it
allowed.
comes- but
She's allowed.
She did say that she did enjoy the first Dune. She did not like the second one. She found it very boring. She was falling asleep. I didn't have the same opinion about her opinion about Dune Part Two than what she did. But I did agree. I thought some of it lagged, but this is where I think a revisit is in order because I always find that I thought one opinion about it when I first watched a movie. Then sometimes there are occasional film where I go back and revisit it. I have a different opinion or I have a more appreciation for it. So I'm hoping that's going to happen for Dune Part Two because so many people rave how like it's one of the greatest films in the last so many years. So I'm intrigued about that. But yes, Marvel, my wife does not care. She's one of those people, unfortunately, that think that they all are and will be always the same. There's no diversity to them, which I totally disagree. There's so many deep characters in them, but yeah. So I've
see
lost
what
that from that
happens.
point. See what happens, but
Yeah.
yeah, she did mention the other day. He goes, "Oh, I'll go see three, seeing as how I watched the first two." And goes, "Well, we don't know if she's going to be available to see it opening weekend." I told him, "Well, I'm seeing Doomsday, so are you going to be able to see two movies in one day?" And she goes, "Nope." I went, "Well, I don't think you'll be seeing Doom with me."
Well,
So, but yeah, that's just talking about Jumanji 3, and I thought that it's a good plan. So, just to finish it off, that is a good idea, for my opinion. I think it's going to be some good Christmas film for the family audience and all to it. And the fact that we've got in the space of Christmas time, we're going to have three big tentpole films we can all go out and see. It's going to be a fun time at the movies.
excellent. Well, that is the end of Reese's Entertainment Honourable Mentions for this episode. All right, we're going to squeeze in a review here, which we promised a couple of episodes ago.
Yes, bringing in a brand new segment for the podcast. I was thinking about this a little while ago, and I thought we need to find a way to celebrate film, not just talk about new releases. And I think we touched on this right at the beginning of this podcast. When we were still trying to figure out how this podcast was going to go. And I thought that there's a way we have to kind of celebrate it. And I thought one of the ways we can do that, this podcast is always evolving. And one of the ways we can do that is celebrate anniversaries and take a look back of films that are celebrating milestones in the year and take a look back. And I thought that at the end of each month, we'll take a look back at time and celebrate anniversaries for either 40, 35, 30, 25, whatever it is, and have a look back. So this year, this podcast, we're going to be talking about a film that's celebrating 30 years. It got released in June of 1996, a comic book adaptation of a graphic novel starring
And
Billy Zane, and it is The Phantom.
yes, and just to prove it, look on the screen, Reese. Oh, you can't really see properly, but where it says play, it says play again. So just to show that I watched it.
Okay, let's jump onto the Matman's Letterboxd. Did he lodge it in Letterboxd?
I've already reviewed it in the past.
Ah, right, okay.
Yeah, and I was holding off, so I don't mind that click.
So I want to leave it open for you first because I think we got a little taste of what your thoughts of this film was in previous episodes.
See, play again.
Yeah, cool. Okay, so yeah, we have confirmed that Matman has actually rewatched this film recently. So, give me your review. What did you think? What's your appreciation of The Phantom? And if you can, what did you think when it first? What was your kind of? If you can think about what happened when you first watched it originally, did you see it at the movies or did you see it on video?
I saw it on VHS.
And then now that you've had 30 years have gone, what is your reflective taste of the film?
Well, I watched it mid last year, and well, towards late last year, I should say. And I rewatched it again just as a refresher for this podcast. And the time that I watched it for this recap is that it's dated, very cheesy and it is like a poor man's Indiana Jones, or I should really say that because it was filmed in LA as well as the Gold Coast, so it was filmed at Warner Brothers Studios, and it kind of showed. So, but at the time, it was quite revolutionary. It was just so like, Treat Williams, who is the antagonist in this film, I never realized how cheesy his performance was, or at least the character. It's really poor scripting, and like the action sequences were all right, but so horribly staged, especially during when they catch up with the pirates. And yeah, it was just, it was like a homage to Indiana Jones. In fact, James Remar's character as well, the one that had killed the Phantom's father, he was like a poor man's Indy. Because and the fact that on the bridge too, that looked like exactly how Indy was as well with the Temple of Doom. Anyway, I'm jumping all over the place. Christy Swanson already knew her from Buffy, the Vampire Slayer in the movies, and Catherine Zeta-Jones, beautiful, but it was like she was a ring-in a way, because like that the excuse that you got two women after Kit, played by Billy Zane, who's the Phantom, Kit Walker, get it? The Ghost Who Walks. But Catherine Zeta-Jones's character was jealous of Christy Swanson's character because they both liked Kit, and like Kit chooses Christy Swanson. So I'm calling them by their names, real names, because that's how dated it is and horrible. The movie was horrible, but I loved it. I loved how horrible it was, because I just went, this is classic popcorn cinema where you can turn your brain off. And the movie was a flop. It was so bad, but it just shows that like, it's seriously dated. Yeah. Anyway.
No, please continue. Continue.
And the fact that what's his name? Not Drax. The Australian guy that's in it. That was helping out Kit. Well, I knew him exactly from an Australian TV soap in the early 90s called Paradise Beach, and I couldn't get that out of my head. I just saw him and I'm just going, no, you're an Aussie actor. And I've got, if there's an Aussie actor in this, and then that's when I looked up and go, yeah, it's filmed on the Gold Coast. It was just like 90s movie, that had like an 80s budget or a 70s budget. And yeah, okay. It was just shit.
That's awesome. Okay.
Okay.
What did you rate it?
Hold on. Let me just give me a second. Because I went to actually check, say that I rewatched it again on Letterboxd.
Okay.
I gave it 2 stars. Yes.
Yeah.
So, and the tagline too, Slam Evil. It's like, oh God.
It is based off of comic book, mate.
Oh, I know, but based in the 1940s.
Before comic books were the prominent, dominant form of entertainment.
Yeah, it was just let down by poor scripting. Like, again, Treat Williams, I don't know if it was his performance or it was let down by the script because he was cheesy as shit. And yeah, it was like James Remar as Quill, like the fact that when he's fighting the Phantom, and because he killed the Phantom's dad, and he's wearing the Phantom's dad's belt, it's just like, really, that's it? Like, Phantom, like the Phantom's dad, he must have tripped over or something like that, and Quill must have kicked him while he was down because, yeah, it's just shows you how, to me, it felt like that's how weak, or, the Phantom's dad, he might have been, he couldn't fight back because he was getting arthritis or something like that. Like, it was just so badly choreographed. Especially, again, with the, when they're fighting against the great Kumbai, or Kabai, sorry.
Yeah.
In
Kabai
the
Singh,
pirate, and they're on the pirate ship, which looked like the Goonies. Am I right? It looked like, what's his name? One-Eyed Willie's pirate ship.
One-Eyed Willie, yeah.
Yeah, and then with Catherine Zeta-Jones, who Sala, who ends up, joining the side of the Phantom because she's got a crush on him. She was originally a baddie, and then she switched over. Yeah, so it's just like, oh, and that whole cheesy line of when Diana Christy Swanson, knows that the Phantom's identity is Kit, and then it's like, oh, I can't reveal my secrets to anyone.
And, well, I can.
And he goes, oh, I can, but to the person who I'm going to marry.
Person I'm going to marry.
I mean, that is just terrible. That is just fucking terrible. There's no suspense to it. It was just cheesy as shit. So
the way you're talking about it, I think it makes it sound like you should be getting a rating lower than 2.
Nah, I gave it a 2 for generosity because it was filmed on the Gold Coast. So supporting Australian actors. And
really? That is the reason you gave it 2?
I gave it a 2 because I was entertained. Like I'm backing it out because I enjoyed how bad it was. Okay. But it tried so hard to be this blockbuster movie, and they just did it wrong.
Okay.
Yeah. Maybe if they redid it, like if they rebooted it or reimagined it, and make it darker. See, they made it too bright and too over the top. So if they didn't go down the Indiana Jones path, then I'd say they would have had that hit. But it was just so, like the fanfare music and everything else like that. It was just like a carbon copy of, I've been inspired by Steven Spielberg for the soundtrack. So it was just too bright. It was too bright, and he's the ghost. The ghost who walks. He's meant to be more dark and mysterious.
Is he though?
Yes.
Really?
Don't you read the Phantom comics? Didn't you read them?
Oh, interpretation, mate. Interpretation.
Yeah, fair enough. Anyway, I thought it was too bright. If they made it darker, more creepier, more suspenseful. Anyway, that is my 2 cents, or at least. The fourth skull. I've got it the entire time. I didn't understand what it was, but now I do. The part where he has the showdown with Drax.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, exactly. It's like I'm waiting for him to do a song and dance routine, Drax.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, he's a literal stab someone in the back type person. But
into the hill.
Yes. And you got someone from The Sopranos as a mafia dude.
Yeah.
Who just gets his, cannonball to the stomach. Anyway.
Okay.
How about you, Reece? What are your thoughts, Reece?
Okay. This film falls into the category for me of guilty pleasure. I love this film because it is a guilty pleasure. I'm probably in the minority where, unlike my esteemed co-host here, I actually quite enjoyed. I don't rate it high. I think I gave it 3 or 3.5 stars.
You gave it 3.5.
I gave it a pass mark for me because I am formally wholly admit I probably have nostalgia factor is involved within that because at the time of its release, we weren't really subjected to a lot of comic book movies, and so this was probably one of the first ones I've seen before I got subjected to Blade and X-Men in the early 2000s. So I love the campiness of the 90s feel of it. I love the the practical, senseless action that they try and do. I thought Billy Zane was very charismatic as Kit, and he played the part very well. The
Oh, such a smooth talker.
Yeah, the eye candy of Catherine Zeta-Jones has always hooked me because I've been in love with Catherine Zeta-Jones ever since I did Zorro. Like I saw her in Zorro and I went, "Yep, I'm in love with Catherine Zeta-Jones. That's it. I want to be Antonio Banderas and I want to I just want to ride horses with Catherine Zeta-Jones and play sword fights. That'd be great." And no, that was not me meaning to do a dark joke and a very inappropriate joke. I know somewhat out there who's going to take this as a dark joke. That was not my intent. But with this film, I it is like I do understand where you're coming from every single one of your talks. Yes, the dialogue is very cheesy, which I think they knew what kind of film they were making. They were making a comic book film that's not supposed to be they wanted to bring in a bit more of a lighter tone to try to bring in a the demographic of a younger audience and not go into the point where they get later on in the 90s where they release Blade, which is hard MA for us and hard R.
Well, I will say I do apologise for stopping you because you just made me think that they did as well as they could on practical effects.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And which is one of the great things I love about going back and revisiting films from the 80s and 90s and some of the early 2000s is that they did so much on location. They did so much practical effects, practical action, stunts, all that kind of stuff. And then technology advances, like we all know, and they had to take advantage of new technologies to cut costs and things like. I understand that, but nothing beats a practical action shot, practical explosions, practical fight choreography, practical locations, and things like that. And so I kind of, when I was watching this film, I was just transferred back to when I was a kid watching this film yet again for the first time and just being thrown into the jungle that was where they filmed it in Thailand and going onto the sets. Yes, the ship looked like One-Eyed Willie, but I didn't care. Pretty much bringing on what's his name? You got the late great Kerry Hiroyuki Tanawa, who recently passed away. The fact that he's this iconic presence and voice. He was only in that one last section of the film, but his presence was just there, and I thought that was great. Just like I said, Billy Zane it was charisma with every character.
Too much of a pretty-faced, pretty boy. But then they were trying to make him the next big thing because but before that, like he was starting to making that, like he popped up on Twin Peaks, the TV series. Then also his previous movies was one of Biff Tannen's henchmen in Back to the Future.
Yeah, because he went from this, and then what was the next film he did straight after this? It came out after this. No, without looking it up.
Oh, I've got no idea.
Titanic.
Ah, there you go. See?
He went from doing The Phantom, and then the next film he came out on his roster was Titanic the year after. And we all know what happened with Titanic being the biggest film of the year and all that, and winning all those awards. So I don't know. This is a guilty pleasure film. It's pure nostalgic 90s film that holds you in. A lot of the ways, it's still a lot of the location photography, the filmmaking choices that they make is very stylistic for the time. It's very much heavily in. It knows it is a fantasy adventure film. It leans into the comic book nature of it all with the cheesy dialogue and the very much the cheesy villain side of things. They know that what they're making, and they didn't shy away from it. Yes, you've got Treat Williams doing the iconic comic book villain, but it worked. It worked. And there are certain points like you know he's cunning in the linguistics for a lot of things, but then you kind of just get wrapped up into it, and because you know it's campy and it's cheesy, you kind of accept it. You kind of put on the suspenders because you know what you're watching. You don't care because you're just having fun with the story and the adventures, and it's globe-trotting. And then you have certain key scenes that make you laugh. Like that one scene that I always find is where Phantom's trying to save Diana, and he jumps through the chute, and then pretty pretty much looks at Catherine Zeta-Jones and he goes, "Don't ever point a gun at something, you might go off." And he catches it and he goes, "Ooh, quick hands. I like that in a man." And she grabs him and kisses him and went, that's just like a pure Bond, like an 80s Bond move there.
What about the moment where Kit goes down, or dressed as the Phantom, goes down the shaft, the elevator shaft, riding the cable of the lift and using the guns as a protector, and then his boots and starts smoking and going,
"Yep.
Really?"
Yeah, but that's what it's the campiness of the film. They know they're rejecting that to the audience, that they're not supposed to be taking so seriously. This is a film that's based off a comic book.
Yeah.
Yes, they try to delve into a reality set, but they don't branch away from the rules that they set. This is one thing I like with some of our films, is that I can get on board with the story that you're getting, as long as the rules you set up in your narrative, your story, you don't breach away from that reality. Prime example of that is Fast and Furious. Fast and Furious is set in a reality of car racing and things like that. When you get to a certain point, where it was touched on that in 7, where you got cars going through buildings, and then eventually you get to 9 when cars going in space, you're breaking your own rules that you set up for you in your franchise, which is something you don't do.
Yep.
In this, they know they've shown certain points about this already with the fantasy aspect of the film. So yes, when you have certain scenes with him going down the cables with his guns and it burning, that's accepted because it's part of the campiness of him being the Phantom. And then him jumping on the different taxi cars he's going through around, and the little subtle things where he gets out of the taxi cab and gives the driver the jewels and things like that, and the different rings. Like, I remember when this film came out, I asked my mother, "Can I get the Phantom ring for Christmas?" You couldn't get it anywhere, and you still can't. But I would love the Phantom ring. That would be awesome to have. Just like the Green Lantern ring. I would like to have that as well. But I just thought it was a well-rounded, fun adventure to be had. The supporting cast were all fantastic. Yeah, you had James Renner playing the iconic, like his very stereotypical one-dimensional kind of henchman. But he did bring some baseline, the fact that he killed the Phantom's father back in the past, and the fact that the Ghost Who Walks was kind of like a language kind of thing that he eventually wanted to come back and kill. I thought that was a kind of like a good tie. But yes, it's one-dimensional, but at least he brought something to actually point to the story.
But I will say though too, the Phantom was there first when they blew up the island, right? Because that island that they use as the landscape shot, the distance shot, looked exactly like the island a couple of years later that Dr. Evil will use. So I just gone, that's the same.
Was it the same island in Thailand?
Well, yeah, it's because it was a secret volcano lair. So have a look at it. It's the same island, yeah.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, anyway,
but yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed the film. Like, I would say, yes, not 5 stars. Oh my god, it's amazing, because you understand what there is. Yes, the dialogue's not great. The script's is a bit weak, but it is fun and entertaining. And you just don't. These days, you don't get too much fun. Like we were talking about previously, Project Hail Mary. You get such an immersive experience with that film. When it comes to these kind of films, you don't actually have some time where you can switch your brain off, have a fun adventure.
You know what? They need Christopher Nolan to do a Phantom. That's the style that I'm hoping for. Like when I say dark and mysterious.
So you want a Christopher Nolan and to give the Phantom the Dark Knight treatment?
Yeah, I reckon that will kick ass.
It will never happen because he said he'll never do a comic book film again.
No, but David Fincher, all right? Just something that's someone who is dark or mysterious.
So to take away from this, you didn't like the lightheartedness comic book adaptation point. You wanted it to be a bit more darker feel, which...
Yeah,
I personally disagree, because a lot of films, they say, "Oh, please be darker," and darker is not always the answer. Maybe we could have a new Phantom come out and be lighthearted, but just done in a different direction.
Possibly,
maybe, but
overall, I give him credit for, as I said before, practical effects. So, yep.
Yeah, and I learned something until you told me, and I looked it up. They actually filmed on the Gold Coast, in Brisbane and the Gold Coast, which is amazing, but. Again, want to celebrate this film's 30 years. I thought it's still a film that does not get talked about. It pretty much doesn't really get talked about that much at all. But I still find it's a nostalgic 90s flick that you can still switch your brain off and just have some fun with it. You can just put on the suspenders of going, oh my God, the dialogue and the little bit of the story and some of the performances a bit over the top. But that's what makes it fun and campy and just an enjoyment to watch. And as well, so I can see every few years I'll just have a bit of a fun putting it on and watching it and have some fun. So that is our segment of anniversaries.
Oh, then thank you very much, Reece, for watching.
Thank you, my amazing co-host.
I really enjoyed how bad The Phantom is. Okay, so I just want to stress that.
This is kind of cool. We've got different opinions. Like you slammed it, and I lifted it up. So we kind of we kind of balance out to a good, a healthy kind of medium.
And if you got any thoughts on The Phantom as well, please send us an email, info@mygeekculture.com.au. Speaking of which, feel free to reach out to us anytime for any thoughts or suggestions or whatever to that email I just said. Or you can even leave a comment on our podcast, Reese's Reviews, through Spotify. So, yeah, you can do that too because we read all those and everything
Absolutely. Please do so. And keep your eyes open. This is a new segment. So at the end of each month, the last week of each month, we're going to delve into the anniversaries of going back. So keep listening to our podcast and we'll let you know what you can we go back, you can rewatch it, and then you can come back and listen to us review the hell out of it, and you can see how much Matt hates it and how much I love it, or vice versa. I'll hate something and Matt will boast it up. So keep your eyes open. We'll let you know closer to maybe a week out before we really let you know what that's going to be, so you can listen to it at home, watch it at home, and then come back and
jam with us.
Jam with us, and enjoy the time with us and with the Matt Man and the Casual Avenger.
Yes. My name is Matt. This has been Reese's Reviews for mygeekculture.com.au, produced by Matt Fulton Productions, mattfulton.com.au. Until next time,
be kind to yourselves. Please keep being positive. And whenever you're listening to this podcast, evening, night, or day, know that we enjoy your patronage and how much you're listening to this podcast. We do it for the love of you, our audience, and above all, everything else, my friends and family out there. May the Force be with you.